Hello, Dr. Goodman. This is Veronica Hernandez for EDAD 697. This is my reflective journal regarding the shadowing on professional development. And so for the last 2 years, I've really been focused on professional development, especially for English language learners. My role is actually an ELD TOSA for the school district. I collaborate with other coaches, the other content area coaches, to develop professional development for our teachers. So I would like to begin first by discussing some of the shadowing that I did. The ones that I wrote about were first to begin with, it was the shadowing with regards to scheduling. So next year, our middle school sixth graders will be part of our elementary sixth grade team now. So one of the things that we had to do was to develop a schedule that that could be used with our four elementary schools. Um, the assistant superintendent brought the district coaches, academic coaches, and principals together to find a schedule that would be suitable. And so everybody from each school got to present theirs. Just my reflection, personal reflection on this, I felt the assistant superintendent already had made up her mind of which schedule she wanted. And basically, they still presented, but it appeared that she already had her mind made up as to which one we were going to be using for next year. It looked like there was some consensus building because everybody got to present theirs. And then at the end, she said, well, what does everybody feel? Does everybody feel that this is the best one? And of course, everybody said, oh, yeah, we'll just go with that one. And so my only question with that was, why have a meeting if you already made up your mind what you're going to use? That was the only thing I got out of that one. The next one was having to do with migrant education. I also work with migrant education staff because we have a lot of English language learners there. We had a meeting about binational teachers and the curriculum of accountability. Came over and there was an agenda written for this meeting and we went over the points. We have some binational teachers coming and we're going to develop how we were going to support, during the day for our parent events, with curriculum. Since there was an agenda, the agenda was followed. The staff that was there all seemed to be very supportive. They were willing to take their time to introduce the teachers, to go around the town, to give them a tour. Our statistician was willing to make sure to provide them with all the materials needed. And so to me, it seemed very organized. It seemed that everybody was willing to do their jobs and very accommodating. Everything was very calm. And it seemed that everybody wanted to do the work that was needed to get ahead. So with that meeting, I had very positive. Everybody was sitting together. It just seemed like a very good and productive meeting. So my reflection on that one was that because of the agenda and following the points and sticking to the topic, everything seemed to flow very well. The next one was summer school. It was the actual summer school training. I had been involved with the planning to a certain degree, but on this occasion, I hadn't been involved with the planning for this one, so I wanted to see actually for this particular one, they were going to go over growth mindset, something called Illuminate, which you might already know about, and just some other little things here and there. It was a very, very productive meeting. It flowed very well. There was an agenda. The coaches that participated were very well prepared. They knew exactly what to do. There was no time wasted on anything. So overall, I think the teachers that went to that summer school training felt that they were going to be supported, and that the curriculum was basically handed to them. They didn't have to come up with anything, and you could tell the level and the amount of planning that had gone into having this training. So takeaways, I guess, would be that you need to plan. I mean, the planning is probably about 80%, and the presenting of it won't be like the 20%. So in my opinion, because depending on how much planning they did for anything that I saw, you could tell if there was very good planning, then the implementation of it would go through very nicely. If there was very little planning, people were left with questions, not understanding what was going on. But since, at least for the summer school one, that was very well planned, and so you could tell, and everybody seemed very content. I guess the sixth grade one seemed very like the planning was not like it was just like let's just do this and let's try to agree, but I've already made up my mind. Sometimes that doesn't work very well. because people don't really understand what's happening. Another takeaway I would say is you have to get feedback. One of the things that I noticed for the coaches was that they were asking any questions, any questions. We want you to make sure that you get your answers question. And sometimes that can come in different ways. Asking questions, but also getting feedback through surveys, Monkey Survey, or the Google surveys now that are very popular. You mean sending those out and asking teachers what they think, what they want more professional development on. All of that really helps to promote a good positive relationship so that when you're sitting in a professional development, you're actually getting what you want. Not what people think you need, but what you really need. Those are two big takeaways that I think that I could speak of. I guess the final takeaway is knowing who your teachers are, knowing their needs. That's another big, huge professional development piece. Having worked with different principals at different school sites, I mean, they will tell you these teachers need this, those teachers need that. And so getting to know your teachers by doing walkthroughs and then, once you know them, if they're at differentiated levels, addressing their needs based on their differentiated levels. If you have veteran teachers and new teachers, that need different things addressing their needs, or even if they need the same thing, you know that you're still going to have to provide a little bit more support for your new teachers. So I really enjoyed the professional development. I've always thought that professional development is something that teachers want, and they want to get better at their teaching. And so we need to provide the best that we can by identifying what are the needs and really reflecting on, is what I'm providing good enough for my teachers, and addressing that for yourself, reflecting on that. Even yourself as an administrator, you're going to have to learn to reflect just like you do as a teacher. What I provided, is it good enough for my teachers? Do I need to balance it off by providing other types of support for them, whereas they can get coaching also? So I think as a school leader, you're going to have a lot of time where you're going to have to really think about what is the best professional development for your staff. And I think that I really enjoyed, like I said, this part of professional development, because I feel that having seen all these different principals at different schools, I will be able to provide that support for my teachers in the next years. So thank you, Professor. It was great to talk to you again, and I hope to hear some feedback from you. Thanks. Have a great day.